there, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to take you through the construction process as well as show you how we saved more than 4 million naira to do this 144 square meters decking. Now, if you've been following our series, you will notice that we've been showing both the construction process and the costs of this particular project from the foundation up to this moment. We also mentioned exactly how much the first decking cost us, and this is the second decking, which is more or less the last for this building. And of course, we were very intentional about the materials we used up to this moment, which led to this huge savings. Stay tuned and find out how you too can save in your project, and of course also get exactly a very quality project. So, as soon as the block work to leveling was completed, the next thing was to do the beams, which implied putting a beam on all the block walls. And of course, this is actually the place we spent some money, because the reason I said we were intentional about this from the beginning is that on the first decking stage, we ensured that we bought marine boards, the good quality one. And of course, all of us know the advantage of a marine board is that you can use and reuse, provided you take care of it from the beginning. So what we did was, of course, to put it in a way that it would be easier to remove when we want to remove it, and of course brace it well so it doesn't deform, so that we can reuse it. So the only wood we bought was just mainly a few that we used for the beams, and after that all the marine boards were brought out from the previous decking and of course reused for the second decking. So that is tip number one. If you want to save in your projects, and if you are doing your projects concurrently without wasting much time before you do the next stage, be intentional about the materials you buy. Yes, it may be a little bit more expensive to buy these ones, but you'll notice that in the long run you will save rather than lose. So that's exactly what we did here, because we knew that we're going to do the second decking as soon as we are done with the first decking and block work. So by the time it got to 3 weeks, we had completed the block work, and of course we reused the wood we used for the previous decking for the next one. So that made us to buy just about or less than 20% of the wood we bought for the first decking, and that was just to support what we already had. So another material to really think hard about is the reinforcement rods. When you go to the market, you will notice that there are different sizes. For instance, if you go to a place they sell rod, for instance, and ask for 12mm rods, you will see 3 or 4 different sizes of the same so-called 12mm rods. Now, when you want to buy rods at the client as the owner of the project, it is better to buy the complete whatever measurement you want to buy. If it is 12mm, if it is 16mm, if it is whatever, buy the correct one. Because what you don't know is, in most cases, if you don't buy, for instance, your engineer requested 200 pieces of 12mm rods for your decking, and you went and bought the one that is not the incomplete gauge. If it is an engineer that wants to still deliver a good work, no problem. What he will just do is, if he doesn't reject the rod, then you'll see that the spacing of the matting will reduce. That means by the end of the day, you may use up to 250 or more rods. In some cases, you may be wondering, why is the rod not enough? You quoted for this and I gave you that and it's not enough. But you don't know the sizes of the rods are not what he anticipated. So he's trying to make up to ensure that he gains that structural strength, the desired structural strength by the end of the day. So it goes to say that it is not saving when you want to economize on materials. Buy the right materials and you will see that in the long run, you will gain it. So when you're buying your rods, when you're buying your wood, it pays to buy good ones. So that particularly if you are reusing, it will pay you more to buy good ones. Even if it is the normal board, buy sapele board or those ones that are sound board. You will be able to reuse it for other things as the construction continues. Unless you are doing, maybe you just do one and wait for 6 months before you continue your project. Then buying the list, for instance, in terms of wood, may pay you. But if you are continuing your project, it will be better for you to buy good ones so that you can reuse and reuse. As far as reinforcement is concerned, the best thing is also to get the right size and the right quantities. Do not compromise when it comes to that, because it could make or mar the structural integrity of your project. So as soon as the iron bender completes the iron work, the next thing that comes on is the electrical piping as well as the plumbing piping. And now we do the plumbing piping to ensure that we have the right pipes pass through the right places as far as the decking is concerned. And when doing this, you also ensure that you use the right pipes. Very important. For us, what we normally do is to use PPR pipes for all the supply, the water supply pipes. And of course, the waste lines, we do with at least 7 bar pipes. This helps to ensure that concrete doesn't compress it. And of course, once it is covered and done well at this stage, you will not experience leakages in the house later on. So this also helps us to ensure that we have all the waste pipes where they are supposed to be, so that when we form the block work, you just see that the toilets have the necessary outlets and the necessary supplies. So no breaking of the decking of any sort, no impact on the decking. So here, the toilets that are in this particular floor has been established, and of course the piping work done, and of course the electrician is also doing his own work. At this stage, everything has been completed and ready for the casting. So I keep mentioning the importance of buying the right material. Buy the right material when you're doing your project. It will help you a lot. Be it carpentry material, the reinforcement rods, the plumbing piping, and of course the electrical piping. They have both the fake ones and the right ones in the market. So ensure and insist on getting the correct ones. It will help your project a lot. So, at this point, everything had been prepared and ready for the casting to start. And going through all the materials we used to achieve this decking, as in the exact money we spent now to achieve this decking, Notice that these are the new materials we bought. The 1 by 12 by 12 was 100. The 1 by 3 by 12 was 100. The bamboo we bought was just 15. And that was because we had some places that were higher than what we had already cut. So we had to get longer ones. Then, of course, we had our 4-inch nails, 2-inch nails, and 3-inch nails, 3 bags. Then, of course, the 16 rods were 65. Then the 12 rods were 200. The 8 rods were 40. The binding wire we bought in this case was just one roll. Then the cement that we used for this project, for this particular decking, was 100 bags. Then the granite was 2 trips of the 20 tons. Then, of course, the sand, we used the China truck with its 30 tons. Then, of course, there were provision for plumbing and electrical piping. Now, the major things that cost us real money for this particular decking were the 16 rods, the 12 rods, then the cement, the granite, and the labor. Now, the total cost of all the materials we used to achieve this particular decking was 6,709,000 naira. Whereas the total cost of the labor that achieved this project is 1,250,000 naira. And remember, these figures we're giving you is exclusive of the engineer's fees. That will totally depend on you and whatever you agree with your engineer. In all, the total amount of money spent on the material and labor to achieve this 144 square meter decking was 7,959,000 naira. And that's how we managed to save over 4 million naira on a 144 square meter decking without cutting corners on quality. Imagine what you could save on your own building project with the right planning and management. If this video gave you value, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people looking to build smart. If you have questions about decking or cost saving strategies, drop them in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next video, where we take you step by step from decking to block work and lintel. Thank you for being with us this far, and see you in our next one.